Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Since my last video, of course, we've had another outbreak of COVID in Melbourne, which has created some restrictions in Melbourne and in regional Victoria. We're waiting for an update tomorrow to see if those restrictions will be eased further in regional Victoria or removed altogether. But it just highlights, I think, the way things are going to be for a while. We can expect these off and on circumstances with COVID, and we're constantly having to adjust. And I think that's one of the points I wanted to make today was the fantastic job you're doing, that we are continuing to get on with business and deliver great service to our customers despite the uncertainty and the constant need to change and adjust. But well done, and fantastic work. I'm not going to say too much more today. I'm going to hand over to Matt Scott, who wants to provide a bit of an explanation of the complications we have to go through in terms of our ESC price setting process and tax rules, for example, that are really creating problems for us at the moment in terms of our profitability. So while we're in strong financial position, we're not actually making profits at the moment. And that's not due to anyone's fault or any lack of work on our part. It's really just the system we're working within, and Matt's going to have a go at trying to explain that to you. I'll be back at the end and I'll see you shortly. Bye.
Hi everyone, Matthew Scott, Executive Manager of Business. Hope you're going well as we experience a little bit of deja vu with the lockdown of the last week. Coming from you from my home office after the weather changed a little bit this Friday morning and has forced me inside. But this video, I just want to have a bit of a guessing game with you around which business I'm talking about. And this business is forecast to deliver operating losses throughout the next 5 years. However, in 4 of those 5 years, it will actually deliver a total profit. Over the 5 years, this business will also deliver $83 million in a capital works program, whilst only borrowing $24 million to fund that over the time. This business owns, operates and maintains around $880 million worth of assets. It employs 105 people and will inject $54 million in the form of salaries into the local region over the next 5 years. And this business is allowing customers to pay less than what they pay this year. So for 2021, the cost to the customer will be actually lower than the 2021 year. And the doozy is when this business makes losses, it still pays tax. And when it makes a profit, it pays more tax than it does the profit it makes. Now, if you've had a guess and you've guessed East Gippsland Water, then you're 100% correct. And you can see from that sort of quick summary that the financial reporting requirements of EGW are quite complex. And we have an overlay of regulatory compliance, but we also have to deal with taxation, accounting standards, and compliance in general that the rest of the business also has to put up with. And I guess it just shows that our core business of delivering water and wastewater services to customers almost takes a back seat to everything else we have to do. But I guess I'm here to present a little bit more information just to assure everyone at East Gippsland Water that the financial viability of this business is strong. Now, I did mention before that we will be lowering our prices to customers next financial year, the 2021-22 year. This is happening right across the state, across basically every water corporation. And the main reason for that is a regulatory mechanism in the current price determination. Now, I'm not going to go into details, but basically the mechanism in the price model means that our revenue increase is lower than inflation, and therefore the cost to customers is actually lower next year than next year. So it's an interesting position to be in and an interesting model that the ESC use, but it's across all water corps. So it's not the best to have your revenue declining, but that's the environment we're in. I guess if we talk about the current price submission period over the last 3 years, I think everyone who's been here for a while will notice that there's been a change and a lot of investment has gone into fixing up a number of our vulnerable assets that have been identified. This year we undertook $3.6 million in contract works to desludge a lagoon at the Bairnsdale Wastewater Treatment Plant. And whilst that went so well, we we're able to mobilise that contractor and use it to do the trade waste lagoon at another $700,000. So that's a $4.3 million investment just alone this year. And we've also, over the last 3 years, removed a lot of redundant assets. The aerodrome tank is one. The old concrete storage out at Lindenow South is another. And we've also increased our staff numbers by around 10 to 12 over the last 3 years, meaning that we're investing in people and their futures and giving people opportunities at East Gippsland Water. If I can just touch on desludging, because it is such a large expenditure item. Over the current price submission, we'll spend in excess of $6 million on desludging. And at this stage, there's another $5 million planned for the next pricing submission period. And next year, we're also continuing the push to remove large redundant assets. And the big one next year is our Calimna tank at Lakes, the big wine glass one there, when you head into Lakes, most people can see. That's being removed. A lot of work's been done by that. And I think it just means that we're not leaving legacies for future generations. Now, the $83 million capital works number I mentioned before, I might have mentioned 84, but it's 83, sorry. And that's a 33% increase in our CapEx over the 5 years of the current price submission. Yet we're only increasing our debt by 24 million. And when I say only, that's a lot of money, I know. But our debt will peak at $38 million at the end of that. But that only represents less than 5% of our overall asset base of $880 odd million in replacement costs. So that's a very strong position, debt to assets ratio, and also it's one of the lowest in the state by a long way. And having that low level of debt, and also, even though it looks like we're delivering losses and profits and tax, it's very complicated. We've managed to keep our AA rating, which is the highest rating from a credit rating point of view we can have as a water corporation. I guess my role is the Chief Financial Officer, and I guess I want to leave this message with all staff. EGW is investing in staff. We're seeing additional staff numbers and opportunities being given. We want to deliver better core services to our customers, and we've sort of ensured that's happened. And we're addressing a number of legacy issues, but we are in a very highly regulated environment. We have the government oversight around price setting and that sort of stuff. But overall, if you have a look at our accounts and sit down and understand them, we're in a very strong financial position. Now, the next price submission, 2023-28, is going to be a challenge for the business. There's no doubt about it. We want to meet the customers' requirements and expectations, but we also have the government, overlay of their mantra around stable or decreasing customer bills. So, we need to manage the business, put our price submission forward that is going to deliver for our customers, but also try to meet those expectations, and also not throw the financial sustainability of this business into question. So look, I encourage you all to have a look at our 2021-22 corporate plan. Pages 30 to 37 has all the fun stuff around the financial forecast and some more insight into our projected financial position. And I'd also like to offer to come out and talk to anyone, any team, at any time, anywhere around the financial position of the business, and go through any other items. Can run you through tax if you want to have a good bedtime story. I'm here, and the team's here to help with any queries you may have. So on that note, I'll sign off. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Welcome back. That was an interesting and comprehensive presentation by Matt. And look, to be clear, it does highlight the complexity of it all, and that may be a little bit confusing. And we're trying not to do that. So a couple of points that jump out for me are, one, we are in a strong financial position. We have a low level of debt, very low level of debt for the industry, and we can use that to our advantage and continue to invest in our assets and our people for the future. At the same time, due to some really perverse outcomes from the ESC price setting process and tax, we're actually not making a profit for the next few years. So we need to be aware of that, but that's not something we should be panicking about at the moment. What it really means is we need to put in a really strong submission into the next ESC price submission process, which we'll be doing in about 12 months or so. And we need everybody to get on board to help us do that, because we need an outcome where we get a better outcome for our community and ourselves, where our actual income matches our expenses. So I know this can be a bit complicated. As Matt said, we're more than happy to come out and explain this to you, a bit of a chat on a team-by-team basis, so please feel free to touch base and we'll try and do that. I'm going to check out now. There are a few other items I'd like to touch on, but this video's gone on long enough, so I put pen to paper and included them in the newsletter for you to read. So I suggest you have a read of those items as well. Thank you and all the best. Bye.